Hey everyone, welcome to the Coding Zoo. If this is your first time joining, my name is Shane and this is the HTML Building Blocks playlist. Our goal at the Coding Zoo is to help others and my children how to learn how to program. If you're interested in that, go ahead and click subscribe and let's jump in today's lesson, which is how to create headings with the H1 through H6 tags. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that. If you're ready to go, let's get started. So before we get started, I wonder if you knew this fun fact. Did you know that by 2020 there will be 1 million software programming jobs that aren't filled? 2020. That's right around the corner. That's a lot of jobs. Did you also know that a lot of programmers are not college graduates? I am self-taught myself, and I'm an engineer for about 15 to 18 years. I lose track of time. I think it's been 18 years. So it's definitely a field you can get into. So if you're interested in learning, again, go ahead and subscribe and check out our videos. We have 5 playlists. Let's jump in. All right, so I have my HTML file open here, and I've created a folder called CZ-HTML8. We do this each lesson so you can keep each file and go back and use it for reference later on. So I'd recommend you do the same, and definitely, go through these lessons by doing the same thing I do. The more you do it instead of just watching, the more it will stick with you. I definitely recommend that. All right, so I have a CHTML-lessons folder. It has a CD-HTML8 lessons folder. I copied that from the template that we first created at the beginning of this series. Let's go ahead and get started. So here I have my HTML document. Here is the same document in the browser. Let's go ahead. First heading we're going to use is H1. So I'm going to create a main heading here, H1, and make this title here. And so it's / and then end my tag here with H1. Click save, refresh. There we go. So H1 basically makes the big title, the biggest title, and you can actually change the style of it with CSS if you want to. Make it bigger, make it different colors, anything you can do with CSS. So the H1 tag, you would think it would be the smallest since it's a 1 versus a 2, but that's not the case. It's actually the largest. If we go and use H2, close my H2. I can't type this morning. Let me change my keyboard here. There we go. Save it, refresh. So there's H2. Notice how it's a little smaller. Let's try H3. I'm going to say programming playlist. All right. Save that. There we go. Again, a little bit smaller. So you get the idea. And there's H1 through H6. Let's see how that looks. Let's go ahead and put another H3. In case you wanted to have title, subheading, or heading, subheading, title, subtitle, section, so forth. All right. Yeah, why not correct that up there? All right. H3, and underneath H3 here, let's do an H4. Close that off. I'm going to do another H4. Okay, click save, click refresh, and there you go. So I have the H1, I have the H2, H3, and H4. So imagine if this was just like maybe a report at school. Same thing on your web page. I can have the community. I can put a paragraph underneath this community that talks about what the community is all about, and then I can have my playlist type here, and I can mention underneath that there's 5 playlists, and then I can have them under another subtitle or heading that names what kind of playlist. So programming playlist, and I can talk about the different programming playlists, and then I can get more detailed and have a smaller section and talk about the HTML one, the JavaScript one, the CSS one, all that good stuff. So it's just a way to categorize subject matter in your web page, just like if you were doing like a report or school or something. So one thing to keep in mind, search engines actually do use the heading tags, the H tags, to kind of document or look at what your page is about. So that's one of the things to consider. I believe search engines will look at those things. So when you have important classifications of certain sections of your doc, of your web page rather, you definitely want to try to use the heading tags. If they don't look the way you want them to look, hey, change it up with CSS. That's what CSS is all about. The H or heading tags is all about, or actually the HTML tags in general are all about classifying your data, separating your data, describing your data, not looks. So if you don't like the look, just change it up with CSS. So when something else sees your document, like a search engine, it'll know, hey, well, that's an H1, so that must be the main theme of your document. And that's an H2, that must be like a subcategory. So they sometimes can be programmed to be smart that way. So that's H1 through H4. I'm going to go ahead and throw in an H5, and H6, H5, and H6. I cannot type today. All right, H6, so we can get an idea of what they look like. Save, refresh, and there we go. So H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6, 1 through 6. So that's all of your main heading tags. There's one other tag that's not really a heading, but it's it's kind of related. It's a way of grouping things in your document or specifying, hey, that you're changing the content, you're changing what's coming next is going to be a little bit different than what was above. Another way to do that besides headings would be an horizontal rule or HR tag. It puts a line across your page and just breaks up the different content of your page. So just like a heading or subheading would specify, or mean that you're going to a little bit different subject or in more detail, an HR tag would mean, hey, I'm going to a different type of data in this web page. It's a way to separate data, right? So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, hey, I'm here. Leave me a message. I will get back to you. If you haven't subscribed yet and you want to see more lessons, please go ahead and click that button below. If you'd like this video, click like. So if you know anybody who would like to learn how to program, hey, send them my way. We love to teach others. I'm enjoying teaching my children, and I'm enjoying teaching you. So again, if you have any questions, leave a message and we'll get back to you. If you haven't been checked out, thecodingzoo.com, check it out. We have more details there, study notes, and in the future we'll have quizzes. And don't forget, you can do it. Programming is something that can be self-taught. It's not, it's fun, it's challenging, it's creative. Sometimes it can be hard and tedious, but don't give up. And I would love to help you in any way I can. Don't forget, 1,000,000 jobs. So We need programmers, and it's a great profession. It's very creative, pays well. It's a good place to be. So thanks for joining us. I'll see you next time.